Hey, welcome to another update on Build 11 and Archmage Rises, the greatest, most advanced role-playing game ever made. And we are excited to show you some of the new and latest stuff that's going on in Build 11, which is still not ready for us to push out because, well, I'll tell you in a second why. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing great.
Okay. You ready to show the peoples all of our work?
I am. I'm ready to watch you show.
That's right. It's actually much more specific.
Yeah.
So, why is Build 11 not ready yet? I came up with a pretty clear and distinct answer. Because, and maybe I'll put in some cool graphics after we record this so it looks even better. Okay, so the reason is because we're building not one thing, but two things. We're building two things. We're building a simulator and a role-playing game that takes place inside of a simulator. And so last year, we spent a whole bunch of time building the simulator and building like all kinds of features and everything, right? And it's all working, well, sort of, it's working. And, you know, we would unit test each piece as we're done. We're like, okay, that's done, you know, put it aside and stuff. And then we got to make a game out of it. And that is proving to be very challenging, I guess, is for lack of a better term. It's hard. It's not super hard, but it's hard. And it's time consuming, and so that's actually the part that we're struggling with. So we had like all these features that were ready last October or whatever, and it was like, okay, let's stick them together and make the game. And then we're realizing, wow, actually the game itself, there's so much that needs to be done. Like, I don't know, the tooltips are like no good, and the fonts are screwy, and like the list goes on and on and on. So it's because we're trying to make a simulator and a game and stick it inside the simulator. Yeah.
Additionally, like I'm a sort of a gameplay enthusiast, right? I care about how the game works and everything. How it looks is not as important to me. Now, Thomas is a perfectionist, and that means that he wants to give you a game that looks beautiful. AAA quality, everything's perfect, every pixel is where it is. And I appreciate that, right? It takes longer, but what you're going to get is a much better looking game, and I think you'll notice that when you look at the screens that every time you see it, they should be more and more polished. So if I was in charge, that wouldn't happen. I'm just saying, you get programmer art all over the place.
Yeah.
So Thomas is a perfectionist. I think he's better for it, but it is slower to make quality stuff. So
yeah, it is slower. I spent yesterday mostly on fonts and changing sizes of things and checking different kinds of fonts and different colors, and does this work, and the order of lines, should this be the first line and this is the second line, or should I reverse them, and all that stuff, because it has to be good, and it has to be good. And so I am concerned about two groups of people. One is the people that are loyally following the game, that have already played it and are watching these videos and commenting on it and that stuff. And we love you guys, and this is great that we can have this conversation, right? And then I'm really concerned about the people that hit it for the first time, because they're introduced to it by the people from the first group, right? So we push something out there, and Will Sam is happy, and Timo, and D-Row, and I don't know if I can remember any other names. Tree Hugger, Game Boon, and anyway, so we push it out there, and they're like, wow, this is great, and they show it to someone else. What does that person think? Like just fresh eyes, just bam, hitting it for the first time. And I want that to be a really good, yummy experience for that person who hasn't watched 50 hours of videos of the two guys making the thing, and you know, are willing to kind of overlook a bunch of things and stuff, right? So anyway, we're trying to build something quality here. So, without further ado, let's launch the game and go into it. How do you feel about that, Nick?
That's great. I think that's what we should do every time. Just hop right in.
I know Nick hates the talking videos. He's like, just show the game. Like that's all. That's all we should do. So, okay. So here we are in the game, and this is the very first thing that you see, because we now have some character creation. What do you think of that, Nick?
I think it's great. Who doesn't like character creation? It's very minor right now, but it's a start.
So we put in this really rough character creation, and this is a little bit like what the final character creation would be. And I've actually told people on the forums, Steam forums, that character creation is going to be the last thing we do, and you're not going to see it until the end. And then I sort of broke that promise a little bit, I guess, by making a little something right here. But this is very, very basic and nothing like what you're going to see when we actually go to do the character creation. And the reason that I put this in is because people requested, and I found it the same thing myself. They were like, hey, I don't even know if I'm a boy or girl in the game, male or female. And then I actually encountered this problem where when I was working with the NPCs and I was working on the insults, I actually needed to know what gender the player was so I could insult them appropriately. And so because of that one thing, I decided to create the very basic level of character creation so that we know what gender you are so the game can insult you appropriately. So
that's important. It's
very important. This is a detailed simulator and we got to get the insults right. So I'm not going to bother reading this. So what should I pick here, Nick? Boy or girl?
Girl.
Girl. Okay. You're such a girl. Okay, so now we have something really cool that Nick made. And this is your silhouette. So I can go through and I'm not filtering them by gender. I'll just let you pick whatever the heck you want. So look at how cool that looks. They all look really cool. So we can get Roger to make as many of these as we want. What kind of character you want me to pick here, Nick?
I like the right one. Looks like some kind of like...
This one?
Right, one more.
Oh, all the way? This one?
Yeah, there you go. That one's cool.
Okay. Okay, so now we're at a new thing, which is something that I just finished 2 minutes before we started recording, so hopefully it works. And that is what I call aspirations. So what's really important to me is that when people get this build, they kind of have something that they can do. Right away, right? And there's a goal to it. There's something that they can win. In the previous builds that we've put out, there was this idea that bounty hunters are after you, and if you don't build your mage tower by a certain time frame, then they attack you and they kill you. That doesn't work anymore with the new simulator and everything. And so I thought this was a good idea to put in these aspirations. So actually, this is a really good example of conversations that happen between the fan base and us as the developers. I threw it out on the Steam forum saying, hey, I need some kind of goal for this build, like just something the player can do that we can test against. And people started saying a whole bunch of stuff, and I took those ideas and it kind of inspired me, and I was like, hey, we should put in life aspirations. So that's kind of an idea coming from The Sims. And so there's 5 aspirations here. And these are things that are passed down by your, well, in this case, your mother, would always talk about certain things. And these are the things that she passed down and the way that you take it into the game. So relationships matter the most. Make 5 good friends, or gold solves all. Reach 10,000 gold. Make the world a safer place. So kill 2 monster chieftains. Only the strong survive. Kill 5 people without being caught by the town guards. Or flesh is fleeting, stone is forever. So build a bedroom in your mage tower 15 blocks or higher. So nice. You win the game, so to speak. I mean, it's an open world game, but you win this build 11, if you achieve one of these things. So which one do you want me to pick there, Nick?
10,000 gold. That's the correct answer.
That's right. If you pick this one, actually, you instantly win. Okay, so then it begins, tells you kind of how you're starting the game. That's great. And so now we can see that life aspiration if we go to the quest screen. Look at that, Nick.
Nice.
Yeah. So we have a little symbol that tells you what it is. And then
look at that juicy text coloring. That's new to me.
That's great. I know that's one of the things that I finick with, like, over and over again. Is it too much color? Is it not enough color? It's like sometimes it's like eye bleeding. There's too many colors going on and stuff. So anyways, I thought this looked kind of nice. So anyways, it gives us our life aspiration. You have 10,000 gold in your purse, meaning like down here. So not in your mage tower. And I currently have 350 out of that 10,000. And the time remaining for that is my lifetime. So I can take as long as I want. So this is the new quest screen showing you your first quest. And that's all I have to say about that.
I should look at the course screen at least to see your portrait selection.
Oh yeah, that's right. So here is the portrait, or the silhouette that we chose. Mm-hmm. And we can equip things, and Nick did this really handy thing where I can click them and they get green highlighted over in the inventory. And you can see what's going on there. Or you could click it and it shows you the stuff in there. And Nick doesn't think that I do this. He complained a lot about building this functionality. And he's like, you don't even click it in here. You always click it down here. And that's not true because I don't want to scroll. So I think it's great that it just shows me the stuff that's there. Anyway. And then I created this hotkey that just gives me a whole bunch of skills. Bam, look at that.
Oh, man.
I got a whole bunch of skills. So we will keep that key secret and not tell anybody what key that is. So when people get the build, they'll just hit every key on the keyboard until they discover what it is. Yeah, so it's looking really good. So something that Nick has been working on this week, he put a ton of time into, is a relationship screen. And if I go to relationship screen right now, it's absolutely blank. And the reason for that is because I don't know anybody in the world. So let's change that. Let's go to the market. Talk to this person. Okay, so now I met this person. So now if I go to the relationship screen...
you can just click his face now.
I just click his face now. That's right, because you put that in. So now I'm at the relationship screen. There's more information here. It was kind of broken. It's not showing. But there he is, and you can see who he's married to. And these are the people that he knows. And look, he knows me. He knows me by 5. And so I can explore the people around here, find out about his wife. I can click her. And see, there's the spouse there. Oh, she got married an hour ago because we just generated the world. She saw him, and then she married him. That guy must be awesome. And then these are the people that she knows in the town. And our face doesn't appear here because she doesn't know us. And yeah, this is looking really good.
Yeah, if you scroll up on it, too, I love how it cuts away at the top there.
What?
GC.
Like this?
Yeah, it cuts off on the top. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm easily pleased, Thomas.
Well, there's a lot of work that went into making this screen happen, besides just the simulator part. So, Nick has some weird news to share. Do you want to tell the people? Well, first of all, I want to say that. So I think the one thing we got going for us, not our looks, not our intelligence, but our honesty. And so, so we had a decision to make this week, and I was like, well, what exactly do we tell the fans? And I was like, let's just tell them what's going on. And so without any more lead up, Nick, why don't you tell people what's going on?
I'm going to be working on another project for a short amount of time, 2 months or so. So I'm going to be working on a game called Seed with a buddy of mine from Boston. I'm excited about working on it with him, but I am not excited about working less on Archmage. So I'll still be working on it, just not full time for a short amount of time.
Yeah. So it's kind of a weird situation that happened where you built a prototype with this guy Edwin, who we both know, who I met at a game conference. Did you meet him at the game conference too? Is that how you met him?
I met him through you, actually, years ago.
Really?
On a phone call, and then I met him, I think, in person at the game conference.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
Anyway, so we
Small world.
Yeah, small world. So we both know Edwin at Barehand Studios, and he, I guess, a couple of years ago, like before Archmage, you built a prototype with him.
Mm-hmm.
And so you built that prototype, and then he took that, and he was working on it and trying to get funding, and he did a Kickstarter late last year, and tried to get funding that way. And one of the things he put on there that caused you some grief was that you were the programmer on the thing, and you were like, "Hey man, I'm busy. I'm working on Archmage."
Yeah.
And we talked a bit about that, and I was like, "Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. We'll see if it even gets funded, right?" And so it didn't get funded on Kickstarter, but he did get funding another way. And so then, because you wrote the original prototype, now he's like, "Hey, I need Nick in order to help me write the full game." And so I've had difficulty every month coming up with money to pay Nick. It's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that I have to come up with, and so you said, "Hey, would it help if I went and worked on this project with this guy for just 2 months?" And so I was like, that really doesn't help us get the build out, but that sure does help the bank account. And so I was like, well, let me talk to my wife about that. And I already knew what she would say. She's like, keep the money. So I talked to her for about, I don't know, a few minutes. And she's like, yeah, that sounds great. Nick can go work on that other game for 2 months and then come back. And so it helps Edwin get his game done, right? And it helps me with the bank account, and hopefully you end up making more money than you were making because you're working for him and still helping me with stuff, right? So we have an arrangement to answer my questions, show me things, help fix things and stuff while you're still working on that other project. So that's why you're still going to be on the videos each week. And so in that sense, in a way, people may not even notice that you're gone, except for how incredibly slow progress has now become. Actually, a lot of things, like when I look at the list of outstanding stuff, a lot of them are in the world and simulator and like feature-wise and stuff. And so I actually feel pretty confident about working on all of those things because Nick does a lot of the Unity UI stuff that I really don't know how to do or really want to figure out how to do. And so anyways, Nick will still continue to be here and following Archmage because you're coming back, I guess April 1st. Although I will make a prediction right now that it'll be like March 30th and Edwin will be like, I just need him for like another week or something like that. So we'll see how that goes at that time. But anyways, I'm going to try and get this release out by myself, and Nick will still appear on these videos, but now I have to pay him his hourly wage. So that means these videos are getting way shorter. And you know what that also means, Nick?
What?
You are being paid to make an appearance in something. That makes you a celebrity.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Finally.
Nick has finally made celebrity status. He's paid to appear on someone's YouTube videos.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, real life fulfillment moment there.
Exactly. I've always wanted to be famous, Thomas.
Yep. Well, you're YouTube famous.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so that's what's happening. And yeah, we just thought I'd share that with everybody, and now it's all out in the open. So people can stop picking through your garbage and searching you up on the internet to know, what's the latest with Nick, because now we've already told them.
I think it's the best thing for Archmage right now. I'm having a hard time not working full time on it because, like, I couldn't even work 40 hours on Archmage because I love working on it.
Yeah.
By that I mean I work more hours because I'm like, do I want to play video games or do I want to work on Archmage? Like, it's an awesome game. It's fun to work on. It's exciting. Lots of progress is being made. But absence makes the heart grow fonder. So I guess I'll be ready to go in a short time again.
Yeah, it was funny last weekend. You were at a game jam, and I didn't check in my code because I'm like, hey, he's at a game jam. Like, what is he going to do? Just start working on Archmage? And then he sends me an email saying, hey, you didn't check in your code. I was going to work on Archmage while you were at the game jam. I still don't understand that.
Yeah, I got back home at midnight, and I'm like, I'm not tired. I'm like, what do I want to do? Work on Archmage.
So, anyways, Nick and I will keep in touch over the weeks and keep that fire burning. So when you can come back, and when Edwin says, "Oh, I need another month," we'll just say no. Okay, so that's it for our update, and I guess one last thing is watch the forums, because now that Nick isn't around for me to basically argue with all the time about design choices and features, I'm going to use the community. I'll just bounce ideas off them and see what's going on. So you're going to see a lot more posting on Steam of ideas, and then we'll take it from there. So actually, that's another reason why I think I can get the build out, is because I don't have an exact number, but I think you and I argue for about 20 hours a week. So just cutting that out actually increases my productivity quite a bit. So
yeah, maybe you'll be more efficient.
That's right.
Just letting the community give you feedback. The feedback is like one thing I'm surprised, and I did write this in a post, is that the feedback is always consistently high quality.
Yeah.
It seems like they have played. They've played a lot of games that are similar, and they get it. So. Yeah, you don't need me, Thomas.
Well, it's high-quality feedback because we have high-quality fans.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we have to give them a high-quality game. Otherwise, they'll turn against us.
No.
And I'll have to post your home address and to deflect all the fury away from me. And I'll change the top where it'll say Nick Biondi's Archmage Rises. Okay, well, that's enough chatter from us, and we will see you all next week. Goodbye.
All right. Bye.